Peace. Welcome to the show. This right here is Humble Beginnings. And y'all know the slogan. I always say the quote. When I say we simply live it through, it don't matter what adverse or diversity that we go through, all we can do is walk the path accordingly. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. What's going on, everybody? How y'all feeling?
Feels pretty good, brother.
Everybody good? Everybody good? Okay. Increase on audio. Josh feel like he on the way back home. So. All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead and jump straight into this thing. I don't know why I feel a little tired tonight, y'all, but we're gonna breeze through this thing right here. This should be a nice little simple task. We're talking about people lying today. Why do people lie? So we're gonna get straight into the question of exactly that first. We're gonna open up with that. Why do people lie? Man, everybody gonna disappear that fast. All right, Matt. Let's open up with you, man. Why do we lie? Why? Well, yeah.
Well,
Why
my
do
my initial thought is people just want mainly fitting in, trying to fit into the norms of what's going on. Also protection. People are fearful that if they tell the truth, that may come with consequences that they necessarily don't want. So I would say the number two things I would say is fear. And fitting in.
Okay, Chef Joe, man, why do we lie here, man? Chef Joe,
Hey, Z.
what's going on, Easy?
What's poppin'?
Ain't nothing. So Easy, we was already on the opening question, yo. I asked simply, why do we lie, man? Just your takes. Why do people lie? From your understanding, why do we lie?
For self-preservation and um, also, yeah, just for self-preservation mainly, honestly. Even when we lie to protect others, we lie to protect them from like protecting ourselves, from them. So, self-preservation.
Okay. Priest, why do we lie? In your opinion?
Why do we lie?
Yeah, why do people lie?
Um, I think we lie for a number of reasons. Protection. A lot of people can't handle the truth. Um, yeah, just those two, really. To protect and to be in denial of the truth.
Okay. Chef Joe, why do we lie, bro?
Hey everyone. In my opinion, I think we lie because some people can't handle the truth, and it's easy. And also to spare feelings. Sometimes we lie so we won't hurt other people's feelings as well.
Yeah, I was pretty much gonna say that too. I think people lie for protection. People lie because they don't want to hurt other people's feelings. I think people lie from consequences of maybe like losing a person, or I think people lie to be accepted. I think people. I mean, it's a number of reasons of why people get into this phase or to do this thing we call lying. So, are there levels to lies? Do y'all think there are levels to lies, or are y'all straightforward and say, nope, there ain't no levels. Lie, just a motherfucking lie. What y'all think about it? Are there levels to lies? Yo, Izzy, go ahead and hit this first.
I mean, and if you look at it in a religious way, all sin is looked at the same technically, but I feel like there's definitely levels to lying for sure for us. Like I'll use maybe being in a relationship for example. You're dating someone and he's lying about having a kid. You don't lie on your kid. Like that's messed up. There's white lies and there's lies like that. Lie. So there's definitely levels to it for sure.
What is a white lie?
White lies like, oh yeah, you look good in that shirt. you know, like that type of thing. Like, oh, a white lie is something that, like, if you told the truth, then it's like almost like the lie is better than the truth in that instance.
Okay, okay. Josh, are there levels to lie?
Um, mm, in my book, no, the line is line. You a little white lie, like Izzy say, but lying is still lies. And I mean, the little white lie, you try to spare somebody's feelings, but it's still lying or omitting the truth. But it's still lying. It's no level. It's just lying is lying. I mean, everybody do it. So I mean, it's not good, but everybody still do it.
Man, what you think, man? Are there levels to lies?
Yeah, I believe there's levels to lying. Unless, I mean, if you're looking at it in the literal sense, lying is lying. I agree with Chef Joe, but most people, and that's why I would go by the generality of it, because most people, even if they're being lied to, wouldn't take it, the same way based on what the lie is. So I would say there are levels based on people involved. 'Cause, like, I like the example Izzy used, but there's also examples like a surprise birthday party. I don't think the person that's getting a surprise birthday party would be upset that they got lied to. Things of that nature as well. Or like there's big lies like this is your kid. That would be something that is extreme that can cause a situation. But then there's like I said, white lies, and then there's lies that are not necessarily to protect you or not to hurt you, but also to like create an event or to help you. Some lies like when people don't answer the phone when a bill collector is calling, that can be considered a lie. So I think there's definitely levels to it. But I mean, if you look at it in a literal standpoint, a lie would be a lie, yeah. But I think there's levels to it.
Caprice, are there levels to lies?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we.
Yeah, there's levels to lies. There's little lies, and then there's just like big lies. Like, don't lie and say you got cancer or your mother or your father died or something. Lie. Okay, you cheated on the test. You told the principal that you didn't cheat. That's a small lie. But big lie, it's levels to lying. Yeah, it is.
So what makes a lie big or small?
The impact that it has to the person receiving it. That's what I would say. I would say it would only be based on the person receiving it. Someone else can't say it's a big lie. I mean, somebody else looking at it may say that any lie is a big lie. But I think the person that it's intended for, who you're speaking to, the intended recipient, would be the one that determines if it's a big lie or a small lie.
So that would be the same thing, which would make it considerably whether it's a good lie or a bad lie as well. Then, right?
Yeah.
Because I would say, because one of my questions was what actually makes a lie considerably bad? Because I always hear people say they got white lies or no darker lies or big, small. But what would make the question? What would make a lie considerably bad? If it's
I think a
if
lot
it's you
that
being lied to.
I think it's a lot that is done to hurt. I mean, in the malice attempt, like to hurt someone. A lot that does damage to a person. I think a lot that does. I mean, that's kind of subjective because I guess a lot that wouldn't do damage may do damage to someone else. But I mean, just thinking off of first hearing it, I would say if it done damage to the person, that I would think first hearing it.
I was just about to ask. I was like, but what if you lying to like spare somebody feelings, and then you did it to keep them from getting hurt, but then of course if they discover it, then they're gonna be hurt anyway. But would it still be a bad lie even if your intentions meant well?
Well, this is what I say. Me personally, like if a lie is a lie to like I said about the surprise birthday party, that's something that's temporary. You're eventually coming out with the truth. Like some lies, you eventually it's just a temporary type thing to come out with the truth. Now, a lie where you're never intending to correct it, yeah, I would say that's a bad lie because it means you're done with the form of manipulation. You're not even looking to it's not even a temporary type thing.
Okay. What you think about that? Is it what makes a lie considerably bad in your opinion?
You know, I think lies are basically like seeds, you know? I think it gets considerably bad when it just like when you plant it and it just like grows a life of its own to the point where you can't even control it. And you know, you want to tell the truth at this point, but it's like the lie has gotten so bad where you're like, you know what, I'm gonna just let this rock, you know? So, um, I really think that like sometimes people do want to tell the truth naturally, you know, people who are like, you know, emotionally normal and don't have like any like psychological or disorders or anything, people usually do want to tell the truth. So even though they tell the lie, you know, even about the kid or whatever, like eventually, like when it comes out, it's almost like a relief to that person because like, oh, I don't have to hold that in. So I think a lie is bad when it's kind of like in that period of like you want to tell the truth but you can't because it's just all around bad and it took a life on its own.
Okay. Chef Joe, what makes a lie considerably bad, brother?
Well, when you get so deep into it, like it got mind's own, like basically like Izzy said, like you so deep in it, like it's hard for you to come out. Like how can you tell the truth now? Like everything you said was a lie. Like how can they trust you and all that? So it go deep.
Okay. I'm glad you brought up trust because that's gonna go to my next question. Caprice, what makes a lie considerably bad in your opinion?
I think all lies are bad. It's not about bad lies or good lies. All lies are bad. I think it's just levels to lying. It's big lies and small lies. So if you asking me what makes a lie bad, all lies are bad.
Okay. I was wondering if somebody was gonna say that directly because I've been around a lot of people who straightforward to like that too, and they just say, "Nah, all of them bad." It's just that people got different levels of whether or not they choose to accept certain lies. But I have heard that all lies are bad because I do believe that a lie, I mean, a lie is just simply a lie.
So I have like a question
All
for
right.
that. So okay, so I feel like I can agree to an extent that all lies are bad and things like that, but like how far does that spectrum go? You know, like I think I think a lot of things can be considered lies. Literally, like our daily life from the time we wake up to the time we like go to bed is like kind of like a lie. Like if I did what I wanted to do, I would eat what I wanted to eat. I would, you know, just live my life the way I want to live. I wouldn't go to work. I wouldn't do certain things. I wouldn't even be respectful. I would talk to people at the side of my mouth if like, you know, I don't like them, you know, but I can't really do that, you know, because that's not proper protocol in like, you know, in life. So would that be considered a lie?
All right. So my girl Izzy jumping the gun, but so we go. So because because one of my questions was going to be, I was going to ask y'all about y'all. I'm pretty sure y'all heard the phrase "fake it till you make it," and within faking it till you making it, I always pose the question: are we lying to ourselves? And that was one of the ways I was going to go to with that. So to answer your question about is that a lie, it can be depending on the individual and what they're trying to convince themselves of. I don't think just the daily routine of it is a lie. I think it's all about what it is that one is selling themselves. Because I think that when it comes to manipulation, I think it's very easy to manipulate anybody because all you got to do is cater to the lie that they already telling themselves anyway. Because I think most people lie to themselves, period, personally. But that's what they sell to themselves, though. And I don't think it's hard to break it away from. But some people just live miserable lives and they're not lying to themselves. They just want something different, but they just too lazy to access it or tap into it. So I wouldn't call that a lie. Just because you want something different doesn't make it a lie. Unless you telling yourself that this is something different than what it was, then you would be lying. So I mean,
Okay.
how I don't think just the daily walk of your life would be the lie. Some people just unhappy. So, with that question being on the table, why do you think people lie to themselves so strongly? And we see that a lot. This whole fake it till you make it life. Now, I was always told uh, faking it till you make it never amounted to shit. And it was always a silly concept when people say to fake it until
But
you
you
make it.
just answered that question.
I know. But I asked the question though for y'all to
People
ask,
lie
why do y'all think
to
people lie to themselves?
Well, I mean, I'm the only person who knows everything about myself. I'm with myself 24 hours in a day, 365 days of the year. So I feel like we are the most hard on ourselves naturally because we are the people who know the most about ourselves. We know when we feel that test, even though we lied about it. We know when, we actually got broken up with, when we said that, oh, I just dumped him. We know everything about ourselves. So I feel like I mean, I don't know. Beyonce got cheated on. So it's like at the end of the day, I feel like you just have to like really like rise up to what you're looked at too. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we're all like, this is I kind of compare humans to like maybe like technology in the core, like an iPhone. Like we're all the same, you know what I mean? We might have certain upgrades depending on how much money you have and things like that, but in the core we're all the same. So I feel like if we just like if we lie to ourselves sometimes, I feel like we'll be able to rise to like our promised truth of life. You know what I mean? Like, but if we're always telling ourselves like the truth about ourselves, which you have to believe the truth. You can't lie to yourselves about certain things about you. Like, there's like certain peak holes of things that you have to like be honest about. But, like have to know that you're beautiful and things like that. Cause, if you don't do that, if you don't like lie to yourself, even though you don't believe that, like you're gonna always just be walking with your head held down, and that's not okay.
Okay, okay. Chef Joe, why do people lie to themselves so much?
I think it's fear to do better, fear of failure. I mean that can go in
That-
different, another topic too. But I really think it's like fear of doing better for yourself, like fear of change. Like, damn, if I know I need a good job, but do I want to move? Do I want to lose my friends? I have to start all over again. Like it's fear and change.
I got a
I
question.
agree.
I
I
got a
agree with
question.
that.
Do y'all think we hear people always talk bag chase a lot today, right? Do y'all think people chase money so hard because they know that they're not as acceptable as who they are just naturally? So that's why people feel like if they choose to make more money, that's the thing that will make them more acceptable because they have this bag.
Maybe the people that think that they're ugly think that way. I don't know.
I don't even think it's about just
Which
looking
which
good.
which, which is subjective. Which is subjective. I know how shallow that sounds, but like, money makes you handsome. So I don't know.
I don't even think it's more so about the looks though. I think that just I think people, cause you know how they always talk about people overcompensating. I think it's just people are being unhappy with themselves. Period. Though, I think a lot of people think that money makes them better, even though money has nothing to do with your character and any of that type of stuff. I think people literally do think that if they have more money, their life will be easier in a lot of aspects. Now, of course, financially, you change, but like there's a lot of people who they get in relationships, but just because they got money don't mean that their relationship's gonna go well because their personalities fucking sucks. They're whack people. They're boring ass people. You know what I'm saying? And we can contribute what you said. They might not be that good looking because money only holds you but for so long. So do y'all think people overcompensate when they chase the bag a lot? Some people. I'm not talking about all. Some people.
Yeah, I
Yes,
believe that.
some
I
people.
believe that. I also think in a lot of situations it works though. I believe that is a cause, but I believe that also works for some people. Some people have got money and it enhanced their life dramatically. Whether it's females, whether it's the neighborhood they live in, the school, the education. A lot of things change when you get money. For some people, it's according to how that person manages when they get money. So I think it's definitely true, especially a man that gets money. The respect you give, because it ain't necessarily just to getting money, because it ain't like you getting money hitting the lottery or it's based on how you get it as well. If you work hard and you chase the bag and you get it, you've done something rare. Anytime you accomplish something that a lot of people haven't accomplished, it puts you at a higher ranking, no matter what it is. It can be sports, it can be lifting weights, it can be martial arts or whatever. Some people don't do all those stuff, so their form of competition is getting to the bag, getting to the money. That's something that everybody can find a way to get to, no matter what field they're in. They just have people have different lanes of getting there. So I think by human nature in general, we want to separate ourselves from the rest of the pack. We want to find some way to add value to us. And I do think bag chase is one of those things. And yeah, that happens, but it also works sometimes. Sometimes it don't work.
Okay, okay. Do you think do you think money brings actually bring respect?
Not just the money, the way you get it. I think hard work and accomplish something that, like I said, that is rare or a lot of people haven't accomplished. Yeah, I think that definitely brings a form of respect as a
But not the
man.
money. But it's not the money though. It's more so the grind or the hustle behind it than anything. It's not the money.
It's the accomplishment. It's the accomplishment. I think if somebody makes, like they say, it's only like what 12, 13% of people making over six figures. So if a guy makes 120, 130,000 before you even, most people, not everybody, before you even know what he does, there's a certain level of achievement attached to that person. Where you know, as they say, like, well, they did something to get there. Because a lot of people want to make that much money, even if they don't bag chase. Nobody would turn down 130,000. Everybody would love to make that type of money. So some people just don't. I'm not going to put the work in to get it, or they don't care to have that much money. But no one would turn it down. So if somebody does get it, I don't think no. I mean, it definitely adds value to that person. I think it definitely. I kind of forgot where I was going to go, but yeah.
Caprice, do you think money brings some respect?
Do money bring respect?
Yeah, you think money make a person respect you? You got some money in your pocket, a little change or a lot of change.
I don't know. I'm on the fence about this. I mean, like it could, but most of the time, I would say no.
Most of the time, I would say yeah.
Chef Joe, do you think money bring respect?
Um, respect. Mm, in some people's eyes, but I think mostly it brings fear because you got the money. I mean you can have some power. I mean you can call the shots. So
Money, power, respect is the key to life.
it is.
Easy. What you think? You think that money bring respect?
I don't know if respect is the word I would use. I mean, maybe like fake respect, I guess, because people be on their best behavior with people who have money, you know, like, um, if they know you have money, and you walk into a restaurant, like they're on their best behavior and they're never going to give you an attitude. If they see like the access of things you have, like, better car, better house, you know, people are just going to come in a different type of behavior and mannerism with people with money. So, I mean, maybe like a fake respect, I guess. Um, but like, I don't think like completely.
So if I
What would
answer
make
that,
what
oh,
would
go
make
ahead, go ahead.
what would make it if everybody that gets money gets a form of respect, what would make it fake? Like, because if money is attached to respect, 'cause I hear people say that a lot, and I kind of get what you're saying, but I want to know if people get money and if people treat them a different way, what would be fake about it if people actually idolize money?
Because I feel like respect is like I respect this person like through and through, like I feel like when I say like fake respect, it's almost like it's fleeting. If I can't get something out of this person, if the money isn't benefiting me, then I don't respect you, type thing.
But how can you tell somebody what they should respect? What should make them respect a person, and what shouldn't make them respect a person? And just because I respect a person, don't mean that I'm always respecting me. Though I think respect is always a fleeting thing. You can lose your respect now. I can have respect for
Okay.
you one day, and then you do something a week later that make me lose complete respect for you.
But in terms of money, we're not talking about everything else.
That may be what it is. If the person respected that grind and them making money, and then they decided they want to be a bum now, they may lose respect for them.
So I don't think so. I don't think that, I think it's a misconception when we talk money and respect. I think in most cases just because you got money don't mean that people respect you. I think people admire privilege and people might have they I don't think that that makes them respect you. Like people could be up under you and don't respect you. Just like how even Izzy said about being accordingly. Some people just want to be able to take from you. That don't mean they respect you. They be like, oh shit, he got a lot of money. I'm gonna see what I can get from him. That don't mean they respect you. They just trying to see what they can get up out of you. I don't think that the money brings respect. I think people just have an admiration for privilege. And when you got a certain level of money, you typically are privileged, a little more privy to certain things in life. And a lot of people just want to be around certain things. I don't really think it's really more so about the individual with the money. I think people just care about the money. Personally, I just don't think that it brings respect. Because people got different reasons. So I agree with Matt was saying. Like people got different reasons for why they will respect you. But I don't believe that money is typically the thing that makes people respect you, not the money itself.
But yeah, but that kind of goes to one of the things I had said on the previous show when I was saying money also enhances a lot of other things that could bring respect as well. Like a lot of times when you make more money, you're more confident about yourself. You dress different. You start hanging around certain crowds. You start moving different. That even if you didn't have the money, that those things probably would have got you that respect anyway. But some men need money to actually carry themselves in a way that demands respect. But sometimes a person getting money may actually enhance those other characteristics that bring that respect along. It's not the money that's actually bringing the respect, it's the way they carry themselves. But some men can't carry themselves when they're broke a certain way that demands respect. So, like
I can
most men
see it,
don't get
but
that.
I
Most
don't
men don't even.
even.
Go ahead, my fault. Most men don't even get a certain level of confidence until they start making a certain amount of money on most men part. Now there's some men that they don't have to make that much money, they just confident and sure of themselves. But most
You
men
say most
respect what
men?
it huh? Yeah, I think most men I
How
mean,
about, I don't even agree
I
with
would
that.
definitely say I would say at an earlier age, I would say at an earlier age, a lot of men, if they don't make a certain amount of money, they don't have that respect for themselves. I mean, not respect. They don't have that like they don't carry themselves in a way that demands respect at an earlier age unless they really get into that bag.
Why is that?
Because I think, especially nowadays with social media and everything, I think everything is hyped up and everything is accomplishment and what have you done and what's your achievements. I think a lot of men right now based on the type of women that they want. Because most men don't see themselves like how you said about people lie to themselves. Most people don't see themselves as the average person. Most people think themselves look at themselves as they should be doing more than what they actually are doing. So I think when they're not doing that, it plays on their confidence level. And when they do accomplish some things, get promotion, start making money, start having a nice car, it brings a certain level of confidence to a person where they can start moving in a way that brings those other attributes to them that may make people respect them.
So I can understand if we trying to go from male to female relations because most men trick anyway. But I'm talking about from men to men.
Hmm.
I don't think that that's where that lies. Not from
Yeah,
men
if
to
you're
men.
talking about men to men, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking it from I'm approaching. I'm not approaching it like when you're trying to catch a woman. I'm not talking about that because we understand that women want you to change their life. So most women gonna be their eyes gonna be open to what you can provide. But I'm talking about from men to men because that's
But I'm
not
not
really
talking
the
about
appeal from men to men though.
Well, I'm not talking about men to men, and I'm not talking about female to men. I'm just talking about in the general sense of human relations. I'm talking about like just all walks of life. Because if you go to some of these business, if you go to some of these business areas and you don't dress the par, if I go to some of these real estate meetings and I got on a shirt and I'm in there with other guys with suits, it definitely is at a different level. They definitely treat those guys that dress way better than me going in there when I first started doing real estate with a t-shirt and some jeans. You're gonna get treated differently and spoke to differently and catered to differently than someone's in there with a nice suit that just got out a nice car. So all that plays into having
Yeah,
money to
but when
be
we
able to
talk
do that
about,
stuff.
but if we were to play the realms of somebody having money, though, because you can have money and not have to be flashy. Now, the people who tend to look like us tend to move our money in a very flashy manner. But there could
Hmm.
be people who could be in these rooms and have money and look very, very basic.
But
So
then,
how would you
but
see it on the surface? So your
but if
respect
they're
couldn't be
very,
wouldn't be off of sight because they don't
but
show
I,
it flashy.
but I guarantee you, I ain't gonna say not. I'm not talking about 100% of the times, but I would guess that most of the times that the guys that aren't flashy, their name is recognized to the point where they don't have to be flashy because they don't have the name or they don't have the flashiness. Then they're going to get treated a certain way unless they just have the intellectual knowledge of the topic so much that they words and the way they speak on it is so in depth that people are going to say, "Whoa, he definitely know what the hell he's talking about." It's something about them that stands out.
Yeah,
Like,
but that's my point though. That
yeah,
because we're talking about the money versus other things. That's my point. That typically when respect is gained, it's typically gained in a different avenue, not the money. It's typically something else that's making that person respect you, not the money though.
no,
That's
I
that.
agree with that. I agree with that. But some of those other attributes, like people don't even get until they get the money. Some people don't develop those other attributes until they get money. So it would be the money that makes them go get those attributes. Now it may not be the money that make other people look at them as why I respect
Yeah,
them.
but when it comes to respect, that's what you receive from others.
Yeah,
So
I know, I
even though
know.
that might be your main motivation as an individual, and that's what gave you confidence and other stuff like that, that doesn't mean that that person or these people or this group is respecting you because of money. They probably respecting you now because you've already captured the attribute. So that might be the leading and driving force for what made you jump into a realm to be this. But that's
Mhm.
still not why they're respecting you, though, is because of the money, though. That's my point. Because it's usually other things that typically grant people the respect. Because most of the time, if people put money at a hierarchy like that when it comes to their views of others, then typically if they were to lose or something like that, then they typically will float by right with them. So it's really not they respecting them. Like respecting money and then respecting the individual typically be two different realms. And I don't think that the money alone is what makes the person respect you as an individual. I don't believe that. Because it's
I agree
typically
with that.
something else a reason why they're respecting you. It's not your money.
I agree with that.
So somebody said earlier, I think it might have been Izzy might have said something about most people wanting to be honest. It was either Izzy or Matt. So I wanted to ask the question: do you believe that most people really want to be honest?
I do. I do think most people do want to be honest, because like, even like a lot of things are like, our body movements, they kind of is like I forgot what they call it. It's like, what is that called when like body language? I forgot what that type of like language is called exactly. But basically, like when you're when people lie, they can't like sometimes they can't like look at you directly in the eyes, or like
So they be like your
sometimes,
tail signs.
yeah, there's tail signs, like, or like, they'll cover their mouth or things like that. And this is like a natural thing that we do that we don't think of because we want to tell the truth, but we're basically lying for self-preservation, um, to protect ourselves, to protect others. It's mainly ourselves, but yeah, like we want to tell the truth, but we just don't feel comfortable. We probably don't feel safe in the environment to tell the truth, and again for self-preservation. So I really do think we do want to tell the truth, if we feel comfortable and if the opportunity does present itself. And that's why a lot of people like search for a person to be comfortable with because they want to be their truest self. So No one really wants to have to lie and polish themselves up with the partner. You know, they want to be comfortable. They want to be able to be honest for the most part, you know.
Okay. Chef Joe, what you think, man? Do you think most people want to be honest?
Um, I would say it depends on the individual and how they was raised or what the situation is. Um, as for me, yeah, I'm honest, and that done hurt a lot of people's feelings. But I mean, I'd rather be honest with you than lie to you and lead you on, and then you get mad at me in the long run. So you should have been honest with me in the first place. So I say it depends on the individual.
Okay. Caprice, what you think? Think most people want to be honest?
I agree with Joseph.
His government.
I agree with Joseph. I do think it depends on the individual because there's people that just lie just to lie, like so. I mean, I think most people probably do want to be honest if they were comfortable with being honest, or if it was less judgment about what they're being honest about. But yeah, it depends on the individual.
Okay. Matt, what you think? Do you think most people want to be honest?
Nah, I think people get a liking out of lying. I think it's I think people love lying. I think they're attracted to it. They like doing it. They like manipulating people. Because there's people that lie that don't even have to lie. You know what I'm saying? They just lie just for the hell of it. We see it all the time. It could be like just the smallest of things. There's people like it's a game to some people, especially females. It's a game to some people just lying. So I don't think people want to be honest because if that's the case, they would be honest about the things that wouldn't even matter. And you see a lot of lies about the small stuff that don't affect nothing. So I think people definitely like lying.
You think this is the standard for all people, like in general?
No, I don't think nothing is all people. Um, no, I don't think it's
But
all people.
as a general viewpoint, you think all people like to lie?
I
No,
don't
and
think most people.
I'm not talking about like dictators and things like that. I'm just talking about like regular population folk, you know?
I would say it's over 50% of people that like to lie.
So that would be most.
In in
That
in
would be
in,
most.
in,
That would be
in
most.
Western
That'll
culture,
be pretty much most.
yeah, in Western culture, in America, I can't speak for the world, but in America, I would say over 50%.
So yeah, I would say if I had to answer that question, I think internally though, I think internally most people do want to be honest, but I think fear reigns more in people's lives than anything. I think more people are just simply afraid. Like they're afraid of not being accepted. They're afraid of, like to let people down, hurting people's feelings. I think the fear is the reason why. So I agree that most people probably would end up lying because that fear is very, very strong. But I do
But I
think
think both of
internally,
those.
though, I do believe though, even though that they are still choosing a route to lie, that internally, if they did not have that heavy fear, they would rather be honest.
No, but there's some things that they don't have a fear about that they still lie, and this is why I want. And,
Like
I
what?
also believe those two things can exist at the same time. I think that fear can be there, and they still can enjoy lying and not have a need to want to overcome that fear. I think both of those can exist at the same time. They can be fearful of the consequences, fearful of not fitting in, and still enjoy what they become. Enjoy the
I,
lie and
I, don't,
enjoy the
I don't
consequences.
disagree. I don't disagree with that part, but I don't believe that most people just take an enjoyment out of lying. I think that most people feel they have to lie. Like for real, I believe most people feel like they have to lie. I don't think. I don't
So
think
when
it's
people,
like now. I
so
agree
when
now
people
because I know some people who just lie just to be lying. But that I don't think that's most people though. I don't think most
so when
people just
people
lie
say
just to
about
be lying.
So when people say about the older men or whatever, they be like, "Man, I used to have the chicks back in the day, man. I used to have them all clocking over me, man. I used to be." There's no fear there. They don't even know. I mean, they old. They shooting with each other. They do it because they like the story. They
If
like
he
to
if
enhance.
he
Like
if
people,
he if he had already built a representation of being a ladies' man, then he got a fear of now looking like he wasn't that.
if that's
Social
the case, yeah.
inclusion
But some of these
needs.
guys, some of these people ain't never had no reputation of being no ladies' man. And still be trying to tell people that don't know them about this stuff. Like
Yeah,
people
but
enhance stories all the time. I used to score this back in the day, man. I used to be the best at this. Like people just like to make themselves look like in a higher light. Anyway, resumes or whatever, people just like to do
but a
that
lot of
stuff.
but a lot of that is fear though. That's a fear of acceptance. That fear of
Yeah, I
acceptance
mean,
and a fear of inclusion, dog.
yeah, I never disagree. It's a fear. I'm just saying that they don't have the desire to overcome that fear. That's my whole point. They accepted that I fear this and this is what
I
I
don't
enjoy
disagree with that.
doing now, trying
I
to
don't
live up
disagree with
to
that. No, but I said I don't disagree with
it.
that. Not at all. Uh, Matt said something earlier. He kind of alleviated to something. Who do you think lies more, men or women?
Mm, this
W-
again.
um,
Women.
Josh said he think women. Is who you think lie more, men or women?
I don't like this question. Uh,
Because you know I'm right, women.
nah, you a goddamn lie. Um, I mean,
Just your opinion from your optician, what you've seen in the world. Who do you seem to see? Seem to like they
I,
lie.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I think women and men lie. So
Okay.
I
Caprice, what
yeah,
you
think I
think?
think I think I think women lie more in the context of relationships. I think in general though, it may be men. I think men lie more in general. Because if you're just friends with a female, most females when you just cool with them and there's no like sex or relationship boundaries, they usually are pretty like at least my dealings with females, they're usually pretty like transparent about certain things. Females really lie when it comes to like once they know you like them or it's a relationship, because then they have like an image to uphold. Like whenever it's an image to uphold, like with their kids, lying about certain dynamics, then females lie more. But like in the day to day aspect of certain things, men typically are more gassing this stuff up, hyping this stuff up, lying about like regular stuff. So I would say like day to day men, just overall men. But when it comes to like relationships, I would say females.
Caprice, what you think? Who lies more in your opinion?
Um, I don't think either one lies more than the other. I just think we lie about different.
Yeah, if I answer that question, I think right now today, I think it's pretty equal. I think men and women both just be lying. I think it's pretty equal. I don't really see a big gap in between it. I think a lot of men lying to themselves. I think a lot of women lying to themselves. I think a lot of men lying to women. I think a lot of women lying to men. I
Do
think
you
I just don't see it. The gap. I think it's
So
pretty
you
it's pretty
agree with
equal.
me?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
what would you consider some things that would be lying to yourself?
Lying to yourself, like a lot of people. So kind of stemming from like the whole faking it till you make it. Like I think a lot of people are overcompensating for themselves, not for just others. So I think a lot of people like, well, I'll deal with it this way. Like men, I think a lot of men, because you got to remember, men are more egotistical, and when you're trying to stroke an ego, there's typically gonna be a lot of lies that go behind that ego stroke, because most men have a hard time accepting that they not that nigga, that they not this, they not that. So you're gonna get a bunch of lies to themselves. They're gonna try to put things and implement things which to try to compensate their position, because they might be viewed more as a failure, but they're not gonna allow it to be seen as such. They're gonna try to build these things outward. Maybe it might be the type of car they choose to try to invest in, or what I'm saying, the apparel that they choose to wear, and jewelry and all these accessories and things of that nature. So they get a lot of lying to themselves. I think women do it a lot too. I think a lot of women do it with the hair and makeup. I think a lot of people they do it. I think they both are lying to themselves.
nah, because men be wearing lace fronts too.
I mean, I'm not saying it's one sided. I'm saying that they both do it. They both do it. I'm like, remember, I think it's pretty even. I think a lot of people are trying to overcompensate, especially today. I think everybody lying today. Y'all don't think so? I think a lot of cats out here
I
lying.
agree. I definitely agree.
I think it goes both sides, man. So here's the next one. How many lies would it take before you consider someone to be completely untrustworthy? About how many lies would it take for you? This is personal. How many lies would it take for you before you deem that this person is just completely untrustworthy? Is it the first lie? He told you that one lie, just can't trust him at all, or he get about 5 to 6 lies off of you, but like, I just can't trust this. How many? Caprice, I'm gonna start with you. How many lies before you deem a person completely untrustworthy?
I wouldn't quantify it as how many. I would quantify it
How big
as
the lie gotta be there?
the level of the lying.
That's why I asked how
Like
big.
what you're lying about. Like if I met you and you said you ain't got no kids and then I found out you got kids, you untrustworthy to me. It could be just that one lie. You untrustworthy to me. So it's not for me, it's not how many lies, it's the level of the
How
lie.
big? Okay, okay. Izzy, what you think? How many lies? Or how big or how small?
Um, I would say I can't give you a solid number on how many lies because I would just say one. But I would
How big or
probably
small?
I think like it's more so like fundamental lies,
Mm-hmm.
like lying about like your life, where you live. Maybe a lot of people lie about like their race and their nationality, which is weird. It's just like fundamental things. It's like if you really are lying about that, like what else could you lie about? So I think it really is like the fundamental lies that like about your life, fundamental values of your life that you lie about, which qualifies you as an untrustworthy individual.
You know, people who lie about their race.
I mean, I used to see it a lot on Twitter. Like, there was a lot of people who would say, "Oh, I'm mixed with like Native American." Da 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 da. It was like a lot of like, I don't know. Like back then, I feel like like I think like a lot now we are like kind of taking a stand where it's like we're not like gonna be black. When I say we're, I mean like black people. Like we're not gonna accept like any like lesser treatment. I see like a lot of like black people back in the day lying about like, oh, I'm mixed with this and that. And that's why my eyes are gray. Meanwhile, they have contacts in. Or like a lot of people, I don't want to call out, but like a lot of people maybe who are like from, you know, um, like Southeast Asia, they wouldn't like claim it really. Like, I don't know. Like, there'd be a lot of people who just lie about their race or nationality. Not their race, because that's like apparent, but their nationality more so.
So if I told you I was a white man, you would tell me I'm lying?
You a straight goddamn lie. What you
Why
mean?
I can't be a white man?
Because you're not.
This could just be dirt.
yo, canceled. Canceled.
Oh, God. Why the braids? White people wear braids too.
That shit won't stay. That shit ain't tight. Loose ass braids.
I just need the right hair braid.
Okay. Braid your scalp.
I just need the right hair braid, man. So let me get to the fellas now. Chef Joe. How many lies, brother? Or how big or how small before a person is considered completely untrustworthy?
Uh, I think for me it's not a number. For me it's the big lie. Like you got to lie big for me not to trust you no more. Like I can't describe it. I just got to hear
Look
it
at
when
him
I
trying to
hear
be
it.
like big sis.
You said what?
Huh?
And I said, look at him trying to be like his big sis.
No. Stupid.
I'll let
I
you
guess
have
I
that one.
guess I guess that one's an insider. I don't know. I don't know his mixes.
She's saying
Me.
that because they was
Oh,
she's saying that because they
oh,
share the exact same birthday.
same birthday. Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's so she says she big sister.
Oh, I love that actually. That went over my head.
I'll let you have that one. But I do agree with you though. It's not how many, it's the big lies. So
Uh, Matt, what you think, man? How many lies are how big or how small before you would consider somebody completely untrustworthy?
It's more so the frequency of how them lies are coming from me. You know, because you told like a couple lies, I know you for 7, 8 years. A couple white lies or a lie here and there, I wouldn't look at it as that person is a liar. If I know you for a week and you told 2, 3 lies, and it's like, oh, okay, this person right here, this is, they can't be trusted. So I think it's
Wait a
just the
minute.
frequency.
Wait.
Like two weeks.
What if he gave you those 3 lies within that week? But he might get to know you for a whole nother year or two. He might not lie no more after that.
Yeah, but I won't know because he started off wrong.
I
You
get you.
know,
I get you.
the
I get
initiation is a big thing. When he started off wrong, I already don't trust you no more.
you.
So now I won't give you a chance to give me further from there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if we start off wrong, it's already a dub. I know you for a day and you already lied to me already the first day I met you. But okay, I don't want to rock with that guy. So yeah, I think it's more sort of frequency of it. It's also
Okay,
yeah,
so
if
what
it's
if a
certain in
person?
the
So
levels of it.
what if what if a girl told you she only had 3 bodies, but you find out she had like 50, but that was the only lie she told you? You cool with that? Cause it's one lie. You said the frequency of it,
I
so it's
wouldn't
one
consider her a
lie.
liar if she just made that one lie, but I wouldn't be cool with that either.
So what would make
You
somebody
hear
say
me?
that? All right, this person is just a complete liar. Like how many times you got to lie to be a liar?
Just consistent. Just consistently lying. Like, I mean, I would say like everything else. One fight wouldn't make somebody a fighter. 2 fights, I wouldn't say a person fight, but they fighting all the time. It's more so like just the frequency of it.
But
But me,
but but but
But what if you a
one kid. Wait,
trained to be a fighter? You only do it
hold
one time.
No, hold on, Caprice, hold on. But if you steal one time, it does make you a thief. If you kill
eh,
someone, it does make you a
Right?
murderer. So I don't know, because if you lie, technically you would be a liar.
yeah, but you could be a former liar too, right?
Could be if you never lied ever since. I guess you could be considered a
Well,
former liar. I can
I
see that.
guess I'm thinking about the objective of like what do you call it, compulsive liar. Because I mean, if we just going by lying, yeah, I think everybody is a liar in some form or fashion. If we just going about, well, now that I think about it, but like the compulsive lying is what I'm thinking about. You know, like somebody that is consistently lies. You know, I think every single person in the world lies about something. You know, what even if it's just not giving all the information about something, because they might not. People, you have to lie to protect yourself. You don't tell everybody everything about yourself. You leave some things out. Even when you first meeting a person, you meeting a woman or you meeting a dude, you don't tell them everything about yourself. You subjectively give them what you want, and you take away certain things because you don't trust them yet. You know, so I think
Is
if it's a person you
omission
fully don't trust, it's always that will
is
happen.
omission the same thing as lying?
If you omitting a part that's misleading them, I would say yeah. If you omitting something that is not relevant, I wouldn't say it's a lie. But if you omitting something that you know is relevant to the conversation, then I would say it's a lie. I mean, it's the same thing.
But that could be tricky though, because sometimes like you can hear somebody tell a story, right? And they might leave out points that they might not felt was relevant, but to the person in which they telling the story, what they left out would have been critical. Would have been
But
like,
if they
whoa,
leave, but yeah, we
you
talked
left
about
that
that.
out. That was very relevant. But it wasn't that they intentionally left out something that they had to understand was relevant to you. They just didn't feel it was relevant as far as they were concerned.
I wouldn't say that they're a liar if they did. Of course, we can't prove that, but if they honestly didn't know it was relevant, I wouldn't say they're a liar. They may just not have thought it was relevant to even mention. You know, it may we having a conversation.
So
I mentioned the relevant point.
I think omission is lying.
I think omission is lying. I don't care
Yeah,
what it's
But
I
about.
think
omission,
not.
All of
I don't care what
omission.
your intentions are. I think leaving it out is lying.
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree.
What you think?
Because no one, no, we can sit here right now and we can watch a fight. We can all watch the same fight. Everybody going when they tell a story, they're gonna miss something out of that, but unintentionally. We can all watch the same exact thing. We could be right beside each other and watch the same exact thing. Everybody's story is gonna be somewhat different. It's gonna be a few things somewhat.
That's different
If,
perspective.
but if everyone's telling a story and somebody video recorded and they play it back, everybody gonna realize it's something small that they left out. Or did they lie? Did every single person lie and they get every single detail about what happened?
It all depends on what was asked. You can't predicate it upon someone telling a general story, because the way most people's minds work, most people don't hang on to every little detail of it. So I understand you when you're running in comparison of telling a story, but a lot of times there'll be questions asked and people just don't say.
Well, there's sometimes. How many times have we done this? Whether we even when we having a conversation on this, how many times has the topic come up? How many times have you been in a conversation with somebody ask you a question and you didn't omit it, but then later on you like, I forgot to add that part in there. It could have just been an accident. You know, had a conversation about how many of us that had an interview at the job where you could have said something as soon as you get out there, you be like, damn, I should have said that. Or I forgot to throw that in there. Or I forgot to put this down. You know what I mean? I think it's just natural.
People don't realize they lying.
It ain't lying then. Like, if you ain't trying
you know, like you do know, like there are people who, because people like to say lie, like being completely opposite of truth. And I always have a problem when I hear people use the term truth, because people don't realize truth don't mean fact. If you believe in something deeply,
That's my point.
it is actually true. That doesn't mean it's a fact, but it is true. If your faith lies heavily in it, it could be true. So we can take something like somebody could be telling a lie, right? And they could have told that lie so long, because I've seen, I got an uncle like this. Nigga could have lied on something so long that this is literally, that nigga could pass a lie detector test easily, because he's told it so many times that he actually believes it now, which is no longer a lie, actually, because he believes it. Because that is when we talk about truth, because your truth is truth if you got faith behind it. It doesn't mean it's fact now.
I think it still is a lie. I think it's just his truth, but it still is a lie in a fact or fiction standpoint.
But that's my point though. That most people, when they hold truth, they put truth on the exact opposite end of the lie. And I agree with you. I don't believe that's necessarily true to that degree. I don't believe it falls directly on the opposite side, because I understand what truth is. And truth could just be your faith. And the believing, like I always say, you can't say believe without a lie in the middle. So typically when people are falling on a belief in something, there's typically a lie somewhere close around to your faith too. So I don't believe it's on the direct opposite end of it. So I do agree with you. I think that it can actually be both. Like we like to say, two things can be true at the same time. And I think that, yes, that person can be lying and telling the truth at the same time. But people are going to say it's a perspective, which it is. Everybody answer. To answer the question, how many lies? I agree. I understood what Matt was trying to say when he was talking about like the frequency part. I don't think that it's not to be quantified as far as a number, because I could take like, and it ain't really how big or how small. I think it's how often the person lies that would make me be like, all right, nah, you just can't trust this nigga. Because I don't think that just like you telling a big lie wouldn't make me say you're untrustworthy. I might can't trust you in that avenue in which you lied, but that doesn't mean you're an untrustworthy person. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people could just be bad in certain areas. So I wouldn't say you're completely untrustworthy just because you told what is considerably a big lie. You know what I'm saying? But if you lie a lot, like I think how often you do it. So I agree with Matt. I think how often it comes you lying is when you be like, all right, you just can't trust me. Like nigga, damn nigga, you how you done told about 15 lies already? We only been sitting here for like an hour, and you can't trust me. That nigga just lying to be lying. Like I think it's about how frequent that
Let me
person
ask you a
lies.
question, Miss Izzy first, and then y'all can answer. Y'all want to answer? Can actions supersede the words? So, like, if a guy is like, "Hey, I just want to be friends," but his actions, you start believing that it's more than friends because his action is relationship type actions. Would it be a lie if you caught feelings that he said, "Well, I didn't want to be in a relationship. I told you that verbally, but his action said something different." So my question is, can the action supersede the verbal of what a person says?
Uh, yes, definitely. But I'm gonna take it for what you in those specific terms. I'm gonna take it for what you say. If we're friends, we're friends. I'm chilling. Okay, if you want to act like a relationship and then buy me breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and buy me new shoes and be my friend, I'm cool with that. I love that. Hey, friend.
Hey, Kel, we see that. I asked the female first because that was a question that I see a lot of females have.
Let Caprice answer.
She just dropped. I was about to let her answer. She just dropped off.
Oh,
I'm gonna,
Caprice might have been
I'm gonna wait
scared
till
to answer the question.
Yeah. So that was one of my things too, because I saw that on a lot of these podcasts and a lot of conversations. I see that's a big like misconception between men and females. Because I see a lot of females say, well, this person might have said they were friends, but they take me out to dinner, they meeting their family, this and that, this and that. I'm automatically start thinking it's something else. But you got the question right, Caprice? I think she froze.
No, she moved. Caprice, you had caught the question, the one he had posed.
Oh,
Nah, she is froze. I thought so.
No, she breaks it. But I think I think that's a lot of perspective because I'm kind of like I know people who are stickler for words and like to where like how kind of like how Izzy said like no, I'm gonna hold you to what you said. I'm not gonna buy into the actions of what you're doing. I'm a stickler for that. Then you got people who ignore what you're saying and only pay attention to your actions.
Yes.
So Caprice, you ain't heard the question Matt posed?
No, what was it?
Go ahead, Matt.
Well, I was gonna let you. I know you have to say it quicker in an articulate way, so I was gonna let you say it. But I go ahead
No,
and give it to
I
you.
got you. I got you there.
Go ahead. Go
He was
ahead.
saying, are there times where the actions can supersede the verbiage in which that a person says?
What?
Can the action supersede the verbiage in which that a person says? Like if a person tell you something, did you even catch the example he gave, or do I need to give you the example too?
Yeah, do that.
So he gave the example of a guy telling you that he don't really want to be in a relationship, but he I guess he's doing things which people are considerably things that you do within a relationship. You meet his parents, you hanging out, he's staying the night, all this other stuff like that. Can the actions itself supersede what he said verbally?
Yes. And I think that's where a lot of women go wrong. You should have took that man on his word, because then now that would be the excuse. Like if you be like, oh well, I thought we was in a relationship because you was doing this and this and that, and he's like, well, I told you that I didn't want to be in a relationship. So I do think a lot of women need to just keep men to their word, but I do think at the same time some people can actually change what they said in the beginning, but you can't really fall on that. You got to take people for their word.
I don't disagree. I mean, I think like I said, I think it's perspective. I think when it comes into terms of relationship, I think a lot of people got selective hearing anyway. I think people hear what they want to hear. Like you could literally tell somebody, I don't want to be in a relationship with you, and in their mind, you say you don't want to be in a relationship right now, but tomorrow is a different day. So I think people just got
Yeah, 'cause
selective hearing.
I think relationships are based more on feelings anyway, more so than what's being said.
And
Once
I
they
was thinking about that when Caprice was responding too. I was thinking that too. I was like, yo, most people though, it's really about how they feel anyway. So like it really don't care about what it is that you're saying. It's how you make them feel. So if your actions
exactly
make
so.
them feel good and they
Mhm.
make them feel in a happy place, that is going to supersede what the fuck you said.
Exactly, yeah, because the relationship, because it's you can, like how you say, it can go one way or another. Most things, so the same situation can happen. It's times because people always say, "I said this, I said that," but there's times people said, "I didn't want a relationship," and it led to a relationship. There's a lot of men that said it's just gonna be friends. There's a lot of females that say it's just gonna be friends, and they ended up going out or building something for real. So every time a person say that, it can still go either way. So people always make it say, "Well, I said this, I said that," but everybody knows the example of somebody said they didn't like a female, or it just was gonna be somebody they was gonna rock with or get to know, and next thing you know, they in a full blown relationship. They just started rocking together. So I
That's most
mean,
people.
exactly. So
That's actually most people. Most relationships move like that. So most
yeah,
people be
so
in
I mean,
relationships with complete strangers.
Mm.
that's a fact. That's a fact. So yeah, I mean, it can go either way.
So that part of that led me to the next question though. Do people really care about the truth?
No,
When y'all think about it, do people really care about the truth though?
no.
No, people definitely don't care about the truth.
Chef
I think
Joe,
people
hit me.
just
What
care
y'all
about
think?
I think people just care about what benefits them. If the truth is beneficial, then they want it. If the truth is not beneficial and the lie is beneficial, they want to go with that. It's whatever going to lead them to the result that they desire.
I
So
agree. I agree with that.
Is you look like you look like you thinking a little different. What you think? Do people really care
Well,
about the truth?
I think people like the option of the truth, like I know it's not like a realistic thing that could happen these days. It's either you like the truth or you don't. It's pretty much black and white. But I feel like, in certain things, it would be nice if I could have the option of like, what do you actually mean? I feel like people like the option of truth in certain standards. Like a lot of people do like to, it's like we're conditioned to like hear certain lies. It registers in our head to react and receive it in a certain way. But sometimes we just actually want to know how you really feel. Maybe not like maybe not like maybe not all the time, but like there's like certain days where it's like, I wonder how he really feels, or I wonder how she really feels. And sometimes I feel like people, if they had the option of the truth, they would like to like have that as an overlying option if that was a thing.
How would one deliver the option of truth? So
Um,
that sounds tricky. Every time I hear you say it, I'm like, that sounds kind of weird. How would one deliver
it
that?
does sound weird. It's something I just kind of formulated right off the spot just now. um, I mean, probably I think like if it's like a harsh truth, maybe in like a nice like consoling type of way. Um, maybe like a counter emotion for like something that's really harsh. I don't know. I don't
Mm.
know. I'm still developing this idea, but yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I'm about to say that one sounds a little weird. Option.
Yeah.
Because technically, when it happens, it's either they're going to give you the truth or they're going to give you a lie. Like it is
Right.
actually pretty black and white. Like most people don't pose it and be like, all right, look. You asked me a question. I can lie to you. I can tell you the truth. Which one you want? Like most people don't usually do that because most people are going to naturally say, "I want the truth," even if they really don't want the truth. They're not going to just say, "You know what? Just lie to me." So it's
No,
like,
but like You know how you're just like talking to someone and they kind of just have like these phrases they say to you, but then you kind of just like some days you're like stop, you just like kind of pause because you're used to them saying a certain thing when a certain question is asked, and you're like, okay, if you say this all the time, yeah, you may be truthful. What do you really mean? Like, I don't know. I'm like weird. I like to pick people's brain. Like, really, I need to know like your whole entire soul. It's probably like not like the most healthy thing, but like, like I want to know. Like, I just want to know if you're lying. You want to know. It's like, especially if you're like my friend, like a long term friend, or like maybe like someone that I'm dating. It's like I want to know. Like I do this to Nathan all the time. Like, yeah,
So it's like, does tone and delivery offset it? Because
of
most people,
course.
because I think that boils down to it too when we start talking about like a truth. Because realistically, what a lot of people is what you say and how you say it. That's why it's tone and delivery. It's
Definitely.
what you're saying, which is the delivery, and how you say it. And I know this confuses people when I say this. So I always try to give people a quick lesson. Delivery is a count noun. It means the way it comes and it is what it is. The same way when they say like mail. Your delivery is that it was brought to you and it is the item in which that has been brought. So when they say delivery, delivery is the what. What somebody says is the delivery. It's also how they say it too. But when
Yeah.
you hear the phrase tone and delivery, they're addressing what you said and how you said it. Because a lot of people when they hear delivery, they keep thinking that it's just the how. No, it's what you're saying is the delivery too.
I think if you're gonna deliver some bad news, the best thing to like, the best way to deliver it is like the sandwich method. It's like good, bad, good.
No,
What is the
I don't
sandwich?
like
What
that.
is the sandwich method?
Oh, so this is what they actually use with kids a lot when they're delivering like bad news to their parents, because parents are naturally like ready to like rip their teacher's head off if they ever hear something consecutively bad with their kid, because they think that they're just like picking on them or things like that. But like the sandwich method is basically in that example, oh, little Freddie, he's a great artist. He is so articulate with, the way he colors and, colors it, writes his words and da 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 da.
This sandwich
You
method
know.
sounds like a lie.
Okay,
But he
it's a
can.
lie. It's a lie, but hear me. Hear me. You have to listen through it through.
No,
You have
it
to
ain't
listen to it
necessarily a lot.
through.
I get what you're saying.
It's not
It's like.
necessarily a lie.
Well,
I
let
know,
her
I know what
explain
you're
it.
saying.
Go
I'm
ahead
trying
and
to get
explain it.
to.
Well, finish explaining it first, Izzy.
Yeah,
Okay.
it ain't a lie.
Okay, so yeah, he's so articulate. He's amazing. He's such a great artist. He did, however, like, threw paint on all his classmates and he cut my hair in the class. But, he's so artistic, he's great, but, we have to work on, maybe like sourcing this as a different outlet for something else. That's
Yeah,
kind of how
it's
you
like the
sandwich
Okay,
method.
buffering.
so
It's
yeah,
like
so
buffering. It's
what
like
you're calling a sandwich method is what people just call sugar coating.
Is yeah, tomato, tomato, I
or they
guess.
call
Yeah,
it. Or
okay,
they
okay. 'Cause
call it.
I was just
And
trying to
then
figure out what that is because I never heard that term used like sandwich. So I was like,
yeah, I've
okay,
seen it before. I actually read about it too. It's like buffering criticism between two positive statements. Like kind of that's like an idea. Like you would say something positive before you actually give the criticism. Because some people don't take like when you bring criticism directly, they don't take it that good. They actually teach you this in HR too. Like when you speak to an employee, they wouldn't just come to them and say, "This is what you do wrong." Boom, boom, boom. This I like that. I like
no,
this. But this is what you can
I know
improve.
exactly what she was.
Yeah,
I know exactly what she was saying. 'Cause that's all that is a sugar coat.
yeah.
Or
Mhm.
how they say like people buttering you up before they hit you with something harsh.
Well,
Yeah.
it's for their own benefit to disarm them.
But it's within the realm of manipulation though.
Yes, this is correct. But it
Not
works. It
necessarily. It's
works.
according
It
to how it's used.
works.
It's according to how it's used.
Right.
But good or bad outcome is still manipulating. Because you're using it to if you're using it to disarm them, you're trying to manipulate them.
Oh yeah, if you're using it to disarm, yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm about to say it typically is a manipulating tactic. That's the whole reason behind it, I would assume.
I mean, yeah, anytime, yeah, I guess so, yeah. I guess, yeah,
I mean, if
anytime
you want to put it as raw as that, I guess.
yeah, because HR alone is human relations. So anytime you know, it's gonna be a form of, trying to manipulate the situation or trying to get an outcome. So
Yeah, you're trying to, like I said, we sugarcoated to ease things over in probably the most safest, productive way possible.
yeah, I forgot what was
Everybody
the
answered
original
about that.
question.
Everybody answered the question of do people really want to hear?
I feel like Chef Joe is just really quiet.
I really wanted to hear the truth. I think I answered that.
What's going on, Joseph?
What's up?
Chef Joe, man, do people really want to hear the truth, man? Do they really care?
Oh, no, I agree with Matt. They want to hear what they want to hear and feel what they want to feel. Like sometimes the truth is overrated. Some people can't handle the truth. They want to tell you they want to tell you they can handle it. Then when you let them know, they want to get all technical and emotional. So
No, but just
no,
my fault. I ain't meant to cut you off. Go ahead, bro.
no, I'm done.
Oh, another thing is too. Just because a person want to hear the truth, don't mean they're going to be not emotional or not accepting. Like some people get that mixed up too. They go, "I thought you wanted to hear the truth." That don't mean the person got to be happy about it as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
when somebody say they want to hear it, they assume that because they want to hear it, that they're going to accept it as well. That don't mean they're going to
I
accept
mean,
it. I always say the truth is like alcohol. You know what I'm saying? You think you can handle it until you no longer can stand it all.
but why can't? How come every time? This is what I want to know now, because this is just saying it's manipulation on my part. If I'm asking for you the truth and nothing but the truth, 100% honesty, how come every time people seem to ask people about that, it always is something hurtful towards them? Or people doing that much dirt that I can't never ask the truth and just get roses coming out. Every time somebody says, okay, I'm gonna give you the truth, there's usually something in there that they know is gonna damage you. It's like, God damn, when can I ask for 100% truth and you just did everything right? And usually
If
something in there that's gonna fuck you over.
to me it falls in the same realm of like the term justification. People don't you never hear anybody justify what is considerably good. You only justify what is considerably bad. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody ever justifies a good thing because people feel there's no reason to justify good. But when
Mm-hmm.
it's something that's considerably bad, justification will always form. So I think that's the same realm in which that it falls into. Most of the time, it's typically some shit that's probably gonna hurt, damage, or something that's gonna be considerably wrong. That's why there's a lie there in the first place. So when
Yeah.
they say when somebody's demanding the truth, they're usually lying to you because somebody's probably going to get hurt in the process,
So
and they're trying to avoid it.
is there dirt in any relationship, especially when it comes to like couples? Is there always something that is beneficial to relationship that should be kept away? Because it seems like every time somebody say, or when people say in relationships, when you tell 100% truth, it ain't gonna work or somebody gonna get hurt. So is in every relationship, especially long term, is there some dirt that's there?
Dirt as far as like a lie somewhere.
Something that could damage a relationship that's being
Talking about like a
covered
lie,
up.
basically like a lie somewhere though, right?
Basically,
Yeah,
yeah, a
yeah,
lot.
yeah.
Yes, I agree 100%.
Okay, that's what
I
I'm
think there's
thinking.
I think there's a lie within every relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Now people might play the
Yeah, I
game of
agree.
like the levels to it and what it is, but I think
Yeah.
there's a lie in every relationship because most people can't, and I think it's for men and women. I don't think men can handle that brutal honesty that women can give, and I don't think women can handle the brutal honesty that men can give.
So are we naive thinking? Are people just naive thinking that once they get in a relationship with somebody, a person is going to be total transparent and loyal and committed to that 100% throughout? Is that just like a naive thing because relationships are something that's not natural anyway? Monogamy.
I don't think that's the part that is.
Nah, that's different. I don't think
I
that's.
don't. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's. I was about to say. I don't think
But you
that's.
can tell you monogamous and it's only y'all. Like that's different. That person
But
not naive
but
to believe what you said.
but the only reason people would be lying is because we have this monogamous concept most of the time. If it wasn't the concept, then people just fuck with who they want to fuck with. People probably wouldn't be lying that much in the first place to be covering stuff for the fear of losing people and
But
not
people,
dealing with a person.
I think we get it. I think we get it confused, especially these last couple of years. Like people trying to push that all men want polygamy and they none of them want monogamous relationships, when in fact they do.
I agree with that, but
They
people
are
that
being
do want to
they
still
are
do
being
stuff.
they are being convinced
Mm.
that oh it's our biological makeup that we need to be with more than one woman. No, you could be attracted to a lot of women, just like a lot of women could be attracted to a lot of men. But that don't mean that you want to be with every man or every woman. That don't mean you want to be with multiple. You can still just want to be with one, but you attracted to many. So
So
no.
the lie, but the lie behind what he would be saying would be the lie in which that one is telling to themselves, because a lot of people, everybody ain't don't need to be in relationships at all, neither.
Mm,
Mm,
And I think a lot of people lie to themselves, putting themselves in relationships when they shouldn't be in relationships, because
mm,
there are people who don't want to be with one woman. So I think a
right.
lot of people are lying to themselves when they carry on the facade of being with one. Really, they're not even suitable to be with a woman at all, like not in a relationship standpoint. So I think that's a lie that people be telling themselves, and you see it a lot more with women now too. There's a lot of women nowadays who carrying on that same umbrella as well. They got a lot of men, but they push that idea of being with one because it's all about acceptance, and the acceptance
Right. I
typically
think it's
builds
a
why
big
people will tell the lie.
I think it's a big lie to say that oh, it every woman purpose is to be married or have children. No, I don't think that's what every woman wants. No, every woman don't want that, and I don't believe that it's like in a woman's biological makeup to just want to be with one man. There's plenty of women that would want to be in a relationship with multiple men. It's just not socially accepted for that woman to be with multiple men.
Yeah, but I think that's people in general.
Mm-hmm.
Because even
I second that.
when people talk purpose, purpose is what you choose. Like,
Mm,
and purpose is why. It's not what you do, it's why you do it.
Exactly.
So a lot of people get it confused and they think that the objective is the what they're doing and that's purpose. No, it's not what you're doing. Purpose is why you do it. Purpose is the reasoning behind all of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not what you're doing. And I think that's where a lot of people mess up at. And that's why I said that that's why a lot of people tell that lie to themselves about being in the relationships, because they don't understand for themselves that this might not be for you. And they're sold the dream that because it's a dream on both ends. The concept of being single and the concept that people will be in relationships, because it's suited predicated to the individual. So when you openly tell people most people want to be in relationships, that's true for a lot, but it also a lot of people who don't, because it's always a time thing too. And that's why I think that's what people don't address is the timing. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think over the course of your whole life that's not true. That's not even a true statement. There's
Mm-hmm.
well,
moments where you do, and then there's moments where you don't. And I think that's on both sides.
well, and some people will also consider that tradition, like the old school way, like you said, you got to and all that. But like I was talking to somebody earlier, it's a new generation. Like we ain't nobody, it ain't like back in the day when y'all parents and all that, got together and all that. It's a whole new generation now.
Well, it's the same
But I think
concept
too.
like that I asked on like the last show that about if you were to like take the step to get married, what would it be predicated upon? That's why I used the term like tomorrow, because the question was posed to see where you stand today. Because
Correct.
if I say in general, then that means we can hypothesize it all the way through, because you might be like, well, in 5 years, you might be you might stand on something different, and your purpose for doing what you do might be completely different. So when I asked the question, I said tomorrow just to simply get where you stand today. where your
Copy.
values are today. Why would you get it and deal with this today? Because
Right. That's
that
what I said last week in the argument. Why was I being so technical? I said because you asked me about next year, and all I could tell you is how I'm feeling now. If I was to get married
I,
next
I,
year, it would be based on love, but it could be different.
yes, but the only part of the question was for you to answer the right now. It wasn't about you answering far fetched though. It was
Yeah,
the question was posed for the
I just
right
made
now.
the I just made a disclaimer. Y'all was acting like I was being too technical.
But
I think
that's one of the reasons of why I ask that type of a question, because it's where the lie dings. And I think that most people don't have a value placement for why they do a lot of things. That's why it always sounds weird when I hear people say because they love them. Like that's where the value placement lies. That's kind of weird, because that's just an emotion and that shit can change. So it's like your reason for getting into the pack is because of the emotion. That's crazy to me. It's like, damn. But then it answers the question. It's like, well, if somebody does that, then it's like common sense why people would then get divorced then, because it's like your foundation was iffy anyway. So I mean, I think that's just how it rolls, though. I mean, but I
I
think it's
think
a lot
another
of lies people tell themselves.
I think another issue is too when we talk about purpose is people have different concepts. 'Cause I think both of them are accurate based on the definition I just looked at. Because some people believe that your purpose is what you discover as you go through life, and then some people believe you are born with a purpose. Especially like more religious type people. You know what I'm saying? They believe when you're born you have a purpose, and then certain things can alter you off your purpose. And then some people would say, no, it didn't alter you off your purpose. Your purpose just changed, and this is your purpose now. So I think like you got two different concepts about purpose, which the definition kind of speaks on both of them. It says what you let me look at it really quick, but it says pretty much the reason for which something is done or created, or which something can exist. So I guess some people are looking at the exist standpoint and say you exist because of this when they speak on purpose, and then some people say
Yeah,
purpose is based on.
yeah. You typically see the existing in the theology realm.
Yeah, exactly. So they would say this ain't your purpose. You know, this is what happened to cause you to get off your purpose, and then some people would say, nah, this is your purpose. So that kind of is
But all,
like,
but the people in the theology realm also, a lot of them also believe that you're not the one choosing your purpose neither. They
yeah,
believe
that's what I'm
God
talking.
chooses your purpose.
Yes,
They also don't believe that they're the ones making the choices. They believe that everything is deemed by God.
yeah, kind of predetermining what's going to happen with your life
Hmm.
and stuff. Yeah.
They believe it's already there.
So you
Because
are going to get two different.
I used to always say that to people too. I used to be like, well, I think me and me and my dog Willie used to always have that. How do you blame people for certain behaviors? Because if you say that, because he pushed the concept that it's already ordained by the Lord. So if it's already ordained by the Lord, then why do you get upset with people simply walking the blueprint in which that was already provided for them?
Mm.
How do you then get upset for somebody if God made it that way for them to do it? Then why are you so mad at them? They just following the blueprint. They just
That's a
following the
fact.
instructions God laid for them. So why are you so upset? You should be more accepting of people if you really believe in that philosophy, because that's just a philosophy. So if you believe in that philosophy, you should be very accepting, because who are you then now? Who are you then now to tell someone what God has set for them? But it becomes tricky. But we choose our own purposes. I don't follow that other philosophy, because that shit is just stupid. But you definitely choose your purpose. Now, some people allow people to choose it for them though, and they just go along with it because that does exist. So some people do let other people choose it, and they just walk the path that somebody else has painted for them. But the people typically are usually unhappy. It's no different than the whole concept of like arranged marriages and people choosing your career for you and things of that nature. Most people typically are unhappy,
Hmm.
and
Mm.
they'll lie and put on that face like they excited about that. Like, I really wanted to do this for the family, but they really didn't want shit to do with that. Yeah, I really love this man, but they didn't want shit to do with that goddamn man. That was just that Their father needed to unite this family with this other family for whatever purposes he felt that was needed. But it's all lies. All right, gang. That's pretty much, all I had. Anybody got anything else they want to introduce to the topic? Some lies they want to tell, some truths they want to tell. Lies and truths are accepted, Caprice told y'all a lot earlier. She told you she was big, sis. When, Josh a little older.
That is not a lie.
That was a lie.
That's not a lie. That's a fact.
Lies come in full fashion,
That's a fact. That is not a lie.
That's definitely a lie.
But all right, y'all. Y'all want to run y'all plugs? Let the people know where they can find y'all before we
Who
get up
wants
out.
to go
Izzy, talk to 'em.
first? Okay.
Go ahead, Izzy.
So you guys can follow me at IzzyOjo94 on Instagram. I haven't updated a lot of pictures yet, but there's more pics to come, so stay tuned.
Chef Joe.
Yo, you can find me on Instagram, Chef Joe with the Pots 2. On TikTok, the same handle, Chef Joe with the Pots 2. And my YouTube, Cooking with Chef Joe. I got to add some more content on there, but it's coming.
Period.
Miss Caprice.
What?
You ain't got no love for the people.
No, my stuff ain't launched yet.
All right. Y'all already know who I am. I'm KJ. Y'all know we'll be back again next Monday, with some, good conversations for the people, man. It's all about understanding here, man. So until the next time, we will holler at you guys. Peace.
Peace.